Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote.
Now, you know what? These Republicans that stood up, and you see that Marjorie Taylor Greene gonna stand herself up, they gonna get a chance to prove whether or not what the president just said is true. Now he said contact my office, I give you copies. That's when the president should name names. He should throw down the gauntlet on them fools. But as Jackson reminded us several times in his career, he was right with Republicans in their efforts once upon a time to cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. So recently, I don't know. Maybe on the bright side, Jackson, we got somebody who understands because he was right there. He tried to do that, but they got up there and like they wanted to fight in these streets at the State of the Union.
Yeah, and Biden did it relatively recently. I don't want to say the year because I want to get it wrong, but it was recently where he kind of was explaining it like we have to do it, like we don't have a choice, you know. So, yeah. But on top of that, this was actually the clip that I mentioned before. Yes. Where he went out of his way to like, no, I'm not saying everybody, guys. Calm down, which obviously is unnecessary. But also, again, just in terms of the Republicans, it's like, it's always so funny when they act like, oh, what do you mean? This is so ridiculous to accuse us of wanting to do this. Like, y'all say you want to do it all the time. So like, how can, and then furthermore, you know, Trump recently coming out to say, you know, Republicans don't touch Medicare, Social Security.
He did.
That wouldn't be news if it wasn't common knowledge that Republicans are always trying to cut Social Security and everything else. So it's always just so unnecessary because a lot of the base wants it to be cut. Obviously, a lot of the working base, when you really put it out there on the chopping block, cutting Social Security really isn't popular with anybody.
No.
But at the end of the day, it still goes along with Republican, you know, economic ideology. So it really doesn't hurt y'all that much to just shut up, you know?
I know, I'm with you, Jack. It was something that you said. You said throwing people bones, but failing on promises.
Oh yeah. And again, like you have that with the Republican side, but then the Democrats, I think one of the things is they just, not that they really care, but they fail to see like the mental and emotional aspects that stress puts on people. So like, it doesn't matter as much that it's like, yeah, we give you a little bit more than the Republicans. When people put a lot of their hope into being a part of the process and then they still broke and they got to deal with, you know, the depression and deal with the disappointment and stuff like that, then
come on.
You know, in a lot of ways, people get more mad at you than they do with the people who are just blazing and open with what their mission is.
Yeah, they do. True that. I mean, and midway through, so, you know, got all the booing and they acting like they wanted to throw down. Thought like they was gonna throw some hands. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene, she stood up and shouted, liar! And China is spying on us and secure the border. That's the only language that woman speaks. That's it. Don't ask her about anything else policy-wise because it just ain't in her. She does not have the capacity, baby, to move and groove in that way. Just really simple. And then Leader McCarthy also didn't clap for a couple of things, showing us exactly who he is. Let's put up this tweet by Aaron Rupar. Partial list of things McCarthy refused to applaud at: the State of the Union, low unemployment. Well, I kind of don't blame him on that one, but that's me. Affordable insulin, billionaires not paying lower tax rate than teachers, the wealthy paying their fair share in taxes, LGBTQ plus young people living in safety and dignity, family leave and child tax credit. He said just to name a few. Those are the things this dude did not stand up and clap for. But you know what? This is very telling, America. I want y'all to go back and watch that State of the Union and study it for yourself. Let us know how you feel about it. All right? Are those people living in a fantasy land? Or is everything just Disney for everybody all over this country, whether you're in the rural, urban, and suburban hoods? Do you feel like you living in Disney World all the time? Huh? Or do you feel like you catching hell and you working harder than ever, just trying to make ends meet? You can't even get to thrive because you all up and survive. You live and survive, so you can't get to thrive.